What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pace Studios here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We are here right now with some very special guests all the way from Chicago, Illinois. This is the Lowdown Brass Band. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Pace, everybody. These guys have a new album. It's coming out next month. It's called Lowdown Breaks. I think it's your fifth album. Is that right? Fifth studio record?
Yeah. Or
Don't mean to put you on the spot.
We got a 45. We got like a half release.
A half release.
Like
A fifth and a half.
Fifth
To sixth. We'll
Yeah.
round up to sixth release for the Lowdown. You're going to do a couple songs from that new record for us today. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to start off with.
Well, we're going to start off with a tune from the specials called Ghost Town. About a year ago, I was on a ska kick, and we came up with this.
Cool.
Feeling willing to dance, walking on the ceiling. What does it mean to be free? Matter of fact, what it mean to be killing? My whole life dedicated to higher means. Graduation, no cap and gown, no cases. No one ever showed me an example. Walker and Abernathy on that BCV. Put out an APB. As long as I can sleep at night, my dreams will be my ATV. Resolving all of our problems, can't do it all in a day. Can't be dependent on nothing, hoping it all goes away. To the day I'm ghost, what's at stake? We'll say bye-bye to those trying to cop their features. Got achievements and the finest feet. Ghost Town Highway robbery, I can read them, don't believe them. No self-freaks, just beat the scene. Can we make it out? Not victimize and not forget who we supposed to be. Got some out, and it's decent. Truth be told, I'ma need that. Of course, we gon' stick to the protocol and take down notes from the feedback. First try, I'ma beat that. So first the war to release that. Might die being patient, better in the basement. Resurrect on Easter, just like let's break 'em up, 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 let's break 'em up. Hey, 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 hey. One time, we beat the rock. Two time, we beat the rock. Three time, we beat the rock. Check, check, call the cop. One time, we beat the rock. Two time, we beat the rock. Three time, we beat the rock. Check that, call the cop. My motivation ain't to patient. My goal's to know the information. I work to use the right tools. Work hard till we need a vacation. It's so phenomenal, hurtful. Something so good is worth dough. This whole town worship cash is king. Actually, it ain't worth dough. Please don't be insulted by my degree. There's many evenings I'm heated. Got many reasons to be. Sometimes resort to the bottle spiritual drinks in the mix. Try not to make it a habit. Hang up, I'm calling it quits. This ain't the boat. Real or fake is different to a non-believer. Pay to reap and die properly. A skater died, got to me. Freedom, don't keep them. Souls are meant to be set free, but tied down in a brainstorm when the rain's gone, but ain't overseen. That's why I don't reason with fools when it comes to achievement. Don't doubt what I'm saying, like first of all, you gotta say it out loud to believe it. What do I know, leave her, it's a, but still won't leave her till I find a replacement in the matrix. Resurrect on Easter, just like let's break 'em up, 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 let's break 'em up. One time, we beat the rock. Two time, we beat the rock. Three time, we beat the rock. Check that, cool cop. One time, we beat the rock. Two time, we beat the rock. Three time, we beat the rock. Check that, cool cop.
Thank you, guys. It's rare that we are outnumbered here by the talent, but that's definitely happening today. So that was a special song that you guys kind of like adapted into the Lowdown sound.
Pretty much.
So, I was going to ask, brass bands, I think in New Orleans, we've had a couple in here this year. Hot 8 was one, Soul Rebels another, both New Orleans bands. You guys are from Chicago. How has, being from the Midwest, the North, not Crescent City, how did that sort of find its way into the formula when you guys were starting out? Did you start out kind of like a second-line band and evolve into what you are now?
Yeah, I mean, it basically started out of, like 14 years ago. Like, basically, Chicago jazz community. Lots of horn players in town, playing sessions, playing in other bands. Friends of friends. Just kind of a scene. You know how scenes are.
Yeah.
And so it kind of started out of just the general jazz idiom, and some of us have a real affinity for New Orleans music. And I know I took a trip down there in the first time in like 1995, and got a Rebirth brass band album in a record shop. Never had heard of them before or anything, and it blew me away. And so that was like kind of my first introduction to brass band music. And I know Lance goes way back with the Dirty Dozen brass band as far as like his kind of like seminal like area where he's coming out of. And then like we're Yankees, we're in Chicago, and we got
we're Yankees here. Sorry.
the damn Yankees.
Continue.
So you got like the Chicago blues sound and real like heavy jazz, and you've got Motown right down the road, and there's a lot of influences of hip hop and reggae, big reggae scene in Chicago. So there's a lot of these things coming together, and through groups of friends and other collaborations, Billa came onto our radar through Lance and some other collaborations, and it kind of became this organic thing. And we're now like trying to write with that kind of fundamental New Orleans in mind, but like taking it and putting our own spin on it, and trying to evolve and make our own thing.
And so in terms of like the vocals, I mean, you guys even have like harmonies on it, sung harmonies. Is that something that are there other brass bands that are singing harmonies on record, or is that really something that you guys are kind of pioneering? Because I'm not familiar with it.
I mean, there are bands that do some singing and do harmonies. I feel like that's one of the strong point of our group is, as like Dave was saying, we have lots of influences from all different genres. A lot of us, myself included, have a gospel background, where the vocal harmonies kind of come from that. And, New Orleans music also comes from that sort of gospel, sacred music as well. So I do think that's something that separates us from other brass bands, and I think that we do it more than most.
Yeah, it must be tough, like when you're not on stage with mics, like if you're on the street somewhere, to be singing and playing the horns and get everything out like to the way you want it to be heard.
Yeah,
it's yelling at that point.
Yeah, it's yelling.
Yelling.
Yeah.
We've been utilizing the megaphone lately a little.
Oh, right. Yeah. Totally. That makes sense. So we're gonna do a couple more today. One from the new one, one kind of older one that's kind of a newer, older one. Tell me a little bit about this next one you're gonna do.
Yeah, this next one, it's called Dividends, written by Shane Jonas, and it's kind of in that evolution of coming from this brass band and then adding the vocals onto it in an organic way, and adding Billa Camp into it in sort of hopefully like kind of a seamless thing. And we have a video that's going to be accompanying this that we're really excited about. It's kind of like a supervillain James Bond poker game, So we're really proud of that. So that's going to be coming out soon too. So.
Cool, nice.
Yeah. So this one's called Dividends.
Billa's already maxing, nothing to be enough, but still it's a satisfaction. This is the math. Look at my flaws when I'm rapping. Mad, but I'm laughing. My goals they keep snapping. Asking the Lord something, I promise to keep the gift. Told me to let him have it. I told him I wouldn't miss that. That's the problem. I'll probably sing it better. The point is to give him hell. The point of writing this letter. So if I worry, there's something to keep me hungry and scary to even wonder with dreams I go to bury up. There ain't another, so sit and just take a number, making every moment matter. No matter I get in hurry. Not so ordinary, just another heavy thinking. If I rule the world, I would take the whole estate. Look at everything I'm telling ya, I tell them every day. The temperature could vary, but there ain't no other way. critical flavor to keep a liquor, do the job, then catch some R&R when I'm with her on my way to deliver with signs sealed the spirit, no mind games, even on wrong songs you hear it. Please, this how everyday go. You can never pay for it with a mountain of money you pay. So, for y'all, I'm out of my brain scars that tatted the frame now. Not a dilemma, y'all, but the names are diamond in the rough. Going star from the boulevard cards I was here, they made me humble today. Take the best for last, ass to give it my all fast to run 'em, put the crown in the bag and the stash. Just let me get some monologue on my behalf. We can pull up on the ass if you love gas. Party crash in the house, got 'em going mad max like a person cash chance for the dividend.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about this new record. It's called Lowdown Breaks. It's kind of a literal title in a way. So I know that like it kind of nods to the breaks used by like the original hip hop MCs, except the samples that are kind of traditionally used in that way. You guys were like all this stuff on the record is live, right? I mean, in terms of like it's you guys playing it. You're not sampling other records.
Right.
But you kind of like went back and cut up your own stuff and sampled that into the breaks. Is that basically what you did?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this to Lance, who's our sousaphone player, who produced the record, and he can give you a little bit more insight into his madness.
Yeah, cool.
So we when we were getting close to the end of the record, we wanted to give a nod to that whole idea of sampling to create new music. But so we sampled our own stuff. We got together with DJ Allo, who is a DJ that Billa works with in another group, punk hip hop group called The Dread, and also a producer in Chicago. And he assisted me in cutting up the samples and creating new breaks, as it were, to be as transitions between the songs.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from. And then, the idea of Lowdown Breaks just being a general sense of anything that you hear on the record can potentially be cut up and used to be a sample towards something else. And it's actually something that we've talked about post-production, taking and making like a, for the producers out there, using the horns only and the drums only and using that as like sample packs so people can use that.
Yeah,
to
so it
create breaks
becomes
of
kind
their
of
own.
like something that extends into the future of breaks.
Right.
It could be used by others, which is
Exactly.
kind of a crazy idea. So what was the origin of that idea? What made you want to like go back and cut up your own stuff and use it like that?
It just seemed like a really obvious idea to me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the songs that were used in the original breaks were old James Brown records.
Right. Yeah.
The horn blast, the drum kicks and snares, and James Brown's voice all cut up to make different breaks for like NWA and Public Enemy and Africa Bambaataa.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's amazing. And so you basically created your own breaks out of your own stuff, which I don't know, again, like if that's something that has really been done.
You don't have to pay royalties.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, now you're creating a bank for royalties to be paid to you,
Lowdown sample pack.
which is genius.
Available on iTunes.
Yeah, that's right. Make it back twice. Yeah, cool. That's amazing. So I think the third song that you guys are going to do for us is one that you guys have recorded before but are kind of like revamping in kind of a new way.
Yeah, it was originally going to be on the record, but then we decided that we're going to release it later on. It's a song we did called "We Just Want to Be." It was originally just an instrumental song with vocals, and then that song evolved as Billa came into it, and then we worked with a producer in Chicago named Nick the Graduate from Illuminati Congo, and he did a dub remix on it. So we're gonna put out a 45 later on this year of this song.
Cool. Sounds good.
More for the DJs.
We just want to be high and live our way. You know we do. You can't tell me what to do or what to say. We just want to be high and live our way. You can't tell me what to do or what to say. From the 17th floor, see the Empire State, see the anti-city. Where you're born to be great, Harlem resident crew was a resident too. Tenement view that was president too. Evident is relevant to my eloquence. And what the hell I've been through, never said an intent to. Relevant, that's too irrelevant, relevant. You can spell it when I put back on it. Book memories, of course, remember him. Tight stakes, wallabies, or the Timberlands. Without fail, shot down in the skeleton in New York. Swag was a self-taught intelligence. Set sail for the beast, 5 Pelican try. I remember a while I live elegant. From the apple, live in the glow. Since a kid, knew where I wanted to go. If ever a man tries to take your high away, bad man, it's only because that man has been led astray. So far astray. If ever a man tries to take your high away, high, it's only because that man has been led astray. LDB, show him the way. On the south side, got a line out, place in line. What's next to your line? I state where you're born, NBC, south side, resident crew. Resident two, crib, resident two. Set them in as we settle into. Shit that wasn't delicate with care, you gotta hand it 10 to element. Just time, telling us better to turn a relic when it's look back, better than book. Memories, of course, remember him. Tight sneaks, wallabies, or the Timberlands. Without fail, shot town in a skeleton in New York. Swag with the self-taught intelligence. Set sail for the beast, 5 Pelican try. I remember a while I live elegant. From the apple, live in the glow. Since a kid, know where I wanted to go. Break me down. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now riding with the Lowdown Brass Band. We want to give a big shout out to Pace Magazine for having us. Come on. Check the stats, who was that? One from the wrong side of the tracks. Basically, he crossed the line, trying to find himself and lost his mind. And for Matt, no map, he just get gone. He just get gone. Some are waiting, no waiting room. I cannot play patient long. Where I be, sing a song. Places where they sung a ton. These flight times clock out every day. This flight touchdown at 101 through the terminal. Security, they scan for our security. The carry on and the overhead was set straight to test his purity. This all test my maturity. Clear to see this with clarity. Just who I am, just who I'll be myself, not just a parody. A pair of socks, forge green, change clothes and toiletries. Pack light, I'll be back soon. My next flight leave this afternoon. Like you just want to be high and live your way.
Oh, what to say? Come down!
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Everybody, this is the Lowdown Brass Band out of Chicago, Illinois. You guys got a new record out. It's actually coming out in January 19th. It's called Lowdown Breaks. We heard a couple songs from that today. And as far as dates, they're playing here in the city tonight in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Bowl with the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. So everyone come out tonight. Here's some loud horn music and get dancing. There are more dates to be found on lowdownbrassband.com, as well as some videos and some music. I saw one of you guys balanced precariously on a boat.
Yeah, that's the Ghost Town video.
That's the Ghost Town video. Yeah, that looked dangerous.
Very, very dangerous.
Yeah. So check that out as well. This is the Lowdown Brass Band. Guys, thank you so much for coming to Paste and playing in our
See you
studio.
tonight.
Yeah, see you tonight in Brooklyn, and come back and play here at Paste anytime, all right?
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
All right.